conception story of Formula E is pretty epic.
I've heard it's pretty interesting. It involves a tissue paper or
A
something.
napkin in a French restaurant where Jean Todt,
Oh, the legend.
the legend, the FIA president at the time, Alejandro Agago, sat and conceptualized this series. It is not held on any racetrack around the world. All Formula E races happen on the streets of various countries. Very interesting Formula E fact. Do you know how many tires they change over the course of a weekend?
5 sets? 0.
They start the weekend on one set of tires and end the weekend on the same set of tires.
But
Name
Tata
on
is
the track,
involved in it in a big manner.
But who has really been committed to the Formula E movement outright
Mahindra.
is Mahindra Racing, and they've done it at a level that they did it where I love the fact that Mahindra enters motorsport with such seriousness.
Formula E is different. No true driver, no true manufacturer. I mean, I don't mean true in that sense, but like, not one has just gone ahead and dominated everything else, won everything.
Hello and welcome to Connecting Rod. My name is Dipayan, and this is the show for your one stop on everything automotive. This time we're taking a slight detour away from our regular programming to talk a little motorsport and talk about a series that is arguably not as well represented in the motorsport community, but for those of us who understand the technical arms race, it isn't really slow or gimmicky. In fact, it represents the largest disruption in motorsport in as far back as I can remember. And to help me dissect the history of this incredible series is our fellow motorsport man and student of the paddock, Bhaskar. Anag, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dipayan. And well, I have to say that Formula E truly is a disruptor because it not only works as an completely independent series. They do not race on any track which is shared with any other motorsport division at all. Number one. Number two, a lot of technologies that they use, we have seen in production cars.
Yeah.
Regular passenger cars. And we know that Formula One does that, did it for years and decades. But the gap between that technology, trickling down to the passenger cars takes a bit of time. But with Formula E, as far as I'm aware, it is pretty quick.
And the rapidness with which the series is actually developing, starting from the car swap era, where a car racing the series, that was a part of the strategy. It was so incredible that a car racing the series could not go the race distance. So they needed one driver, two cars, swap mid-race. That's the most mental thing that I can think of since old-timey Le Mans.
Well, that is absolutely true. But that gave way to the development and the heavy investment and the technology that we see today. And that is rapid charging. The charging speeds that Formula E represents is not present anywhere else on the planet.
I don't think Formula E cars in this generation or in any race needed to be charged mid-race. I don't think that was ever the case.
They could go the entire distance.
But it was, when you talk about charging, what's really happening is incredible amounts of regen and incredible amounts of off-throttle strategy.
That's true.
But
the thing is that, see, whenever a driver has to attack, see, it's also about efficiency. It's also about being green. It's also about being, again, nice to the planet. So they cannot go the entire race on full throttle. Bit,
because I know we're passionate. But I think we jumped the start a little bit. And for viewers tuning in to the Connecting Rod, they may not really have the context of what Formula E is and what makes it special. So let's start with the conception. The conception story of Formula E is pretty epic.
I've heard it's pretty interesting. It involves a tissue paper or something.
A napkin in a French restaurant where Jean Todt,
the legend,
the legend, the FIA president at the time, Alejandro Agago, sat and conceptualized this series. Now, okay, in fairness, when they did conceptualize the series, they did think of it as being the next Formula One. But this is as far back as 2011, where
We did not have electric cars.
visionaries.
I mean, sort of.
We did.
We
it
did.
Was, it
There's
was
this different
starting
technology,
to
completely
ebb
different.
and flow,
Yeah.
but I think a large part of how rapid technology has developed in the last few years is on account of how rapidly Formula E has developed over the years. It is the feeder
true.
series. It is the fastest trickle down of any technology to a road car
Yeah.
I have ever seen in any crucible of motorsport. And I think that's why we should talk about it. And that's why it's so important. And sure, it has its gimmicks that would alienate the purest motorsport fan like yourself.
Not
I know you
completely.
love the sound of your V10 engines and your V6
Obviously, everyone does.
hybrids
But
and
like,
them shifting down
mean,
through the gears.
I feel
But-
we live in a world where we should get everything. I mean,
The beauty of electric strategy is something that really stands out. Now let's skip forward a little bit to 2013, where the pilot inaugural race was held,
that was in Berlin,
Beijing.
Beijing.
And okay, so here's something about Formula E. It is not, as Anag pointed out when we jumped the start a little bit, it is not held on any racetrack around the world. All Formula E races happen on the streets of various countries. Anag almost attended one in Hyderabad
Yeah, well, missed it.
and missed it on account of being on a drive or something like that.
Yeah, I had to. avoid
But
it.
it does represent just how incredibly dynamic this series is.
That's true.
That we have the Buddha International, we have the MMRT, both of which are well over the ratings required for a Formula E
They
series.
race on FIA Grade 2. I mean, they can.
They race on the streets.
Yeah, I mean,
brother.
they-
they were in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Probably the most chaotic city as far as traffic
I mean, it was a
goes.
nice section of Hyderabad otherwise. But there was an incident where the traffic did enter the
The
E-Prix
track.
lane. Yeah. It was,
I mean,
it
we
was pretty-
learn and we live and we
Yeah.
learn, I guess.
mean,
For us as a
teething
developing
issues-
nation, I mean, it was a huge
See,
honor
for
to
India,
be
I
able to
think-
host the
I
championship.
mean, it's just for India, motorsport is always a teething issue. We get there, but it's always there's always a good part, there's always a bad part.
I think that is a little sad because we sit in a time where we have the infrastructure for everything from Formula 1 to MotoGP to GP2 to every World Series can have a round in India. And we have some of the most interesting tracks on the planet. I mean, the jump at MMRT that goes over the underground entry to the track is unlike anything that I have ever seen. The Caribolica. Do you know what that is?
Not really, no.
The Parabolica in the BIC is officially called
The
the
Cariboli.
Caribolica
Well,
because
it's
racism.
a very interesting name.
Yeah. So anyway, back to 2013. How did the first race go? And like what made it so special?
Well, what made the first race so special was
The absolute fireworks at the last lap of the race with Lucas Di Grassi coming around the two, I forget the names. It was Nelson Piquet Jr. No, it was Nick Prost and
it was Nelson Piquet Jr.
no, it was Nico Prost and Nick Hetfield who had contact, and then Lucas Di Grassi came through to win the race because he had conserved his charge better. Ooh, another very interesting Formula E fact. Do you know how many tires they change over the course of a weekend?
5 sets? 0.
They start the weekend on one set of tires and end the weekend on the same set of tires.
Wait, so if you burn out of that set of tires, what happens?
That is where the strategy comes in, my friend. Because again, you have that many settings, that much of evolution over. There's so much of off throttle time because you're conserving, you're lifting to not coast, but charge. And of course, now I'm sure like when you come up with a new series with a entirely new base of technology, there are going to be learnings. And I'm sure that the FIA has learned, which is why we've seen such rapid evolution in the FIA Formula E. But I think that is what really, really makes it special.
But don't you think like one of the things that does make Formula 1 again so interesting is that they have the choice of tires and they choose to go one way while some competitors choose to go the other way. I mean, the way that you say it, I assume they only have one kind of... It's about the same. But do they have only one kind of compound to play with?
I'm not really sure about this. I think that as far as I know that they have only one kind of compound. One set of tires lasts through the weekend. You conserve your tires as you will. Okay. Now,
I mean, see, okay, I have not driven on racetracks. You have competed. Is it not a massive learning curve when you have to, well, as your race philosophy, let it be your quali philosophy, let it be your practice philosophy, have to be on conserving more than pushing?
no, it's about balance. So even in the Levitas Cup, I got a set of tires on Thursday, which was still PN practice, which was not even an official practice session. And I lasted it till the end of the fourth race, which was 9 sessions.
I mean, okay, fine.
15-minute sessions, that's 10 laps.
Okay, fair.
And I do know people, if you noticed, my pace evolved over the course of the weekend. Whereas a lot of people's pace, who was a lot faster on Friday, started dropping off.
They burned the tires.
And it's all a part of...
Is that where the incredible strategy comes in?
racecraft. And
Okay.
I think if you appreciate strategy and racecraft, Formula E is where it's at. But talking about strategy and racecraft, let's touch on the car swap. Were you pro it, against it? I know there was a huge faction of the motorsport community that didn't. So as a student of the paddock, what were your views on it?
I mean, we see car swapping in almost everything except the Grand Prix format. So seeing a car swapping, going on in a Grand Prix format, I mean, of course, except MotoGP, is different, right?
MotoGP, you only swap bikes on the weather because it's impossible to change.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, GT3, endurance racing, you are always... I mean, okay, fine. You're not swapping cars actually. You're swapping the drivers. But you do have these long stops. And if the technology doesn't allow it, I mean, I for sure remember that Formula E did, touch upon the technology of swapping batteries as to how quickly they could remove the battery and put a new one in as a pit stop.
Yeah.
Right? And
Which one?
Formula E.
No.
No, they tested it. I mean,
So
they
tried it.
definitely researched upon it, and I'm pretty sure it did not work out. Again, as we said, is the pinnacle of electric racing. So, I mean, it didn't work out, so it didn't work out. So, in that way, I mean, I was honestly fine with it. But what made it more interesting was how, a driver could suddenly go from, conserving the entire race to full attack for, the moment he swaps the car and just goes about it.
Exactly. But then that changed.
Yeah.
5 seasons. By the 5th season, we had the Gen 2 car,
Yeah.
which could go the race distance.
I
And
think
that was
Gen 2, made quite the difference in Formula 1. Like, people were, really disinterested with Formula sorry, Formula E. Sorry, Formula E, by that time. But I think Gen 2 really brought about, certain changes, the technology, the jump in technology, the competitors evolving, the competition just getting better.
The amount the car changed from Gen 1 to Gen 2. I mean, you
Looked
went from
completely different.
Yeah, you went from an open concept to the really Batmobile looking
yeah.
thing. And I think the Gen 2 car was genuinely a cool looking open wheel race car.
Yeah.
I know the jury was out a little bit on it, but
I have a question though.
yeah.
Okay, we say pinnacle of electric racing, but wouldn't pinnacle of electric racing not be open wheel?
Why?
I mean, open wheel does dictate that the aerodynamics get messed up a little bit. No?
So think back and now picture the Formula E car.
I mean, I am. It's perfectly aerodynamic. I'm not gonna.
There are wheel arches on an
yeah,
open wheel car. So that was the development in Gen 2, and what made it more interesting, I think. Okay, so number one, you had the attack mode
Yeah.
and the qualifying mode,
Yeah.
which were two modes that you could drive your car in, burn through your battery, but set.
I felt the attack mode was really, really interesting.
What did you think about the fan boost? Honest.
I think not really my cup of tea, because fan boost is like, like people are legit, voting for a driver to go faster in essence, right? Like it's cheering them on, and that cheer is powering the car. That is just, I mean, see, for some fans, I think it's a great thing. It's a great fan engagement. I will not disagree.
Yeah, I was just getting
it's
to
a
that.
great fan engagement. Like if I did have, something like like if we do have a driver of the day in Formula 1, right? And sometimes those driver of the days are, finishing in P9.
Imagine if Behrman had.
So if my
Imagine
vote
if
did
Behrman
matter, if my
had-
vote did matter, and if the race essentially allowed, my vote did allow him to jump places and maybe finish the race or win the race or something
Imagine
like
if Behrman had fan boost.
yeah, exactly.
in the last race.
He did not need it a lot.
I mean,
Higher than you were flying, but
the
like-
VSC was.
But whatever we
VSC would have caught him.
yeah, I mean, so Verstappen would have as well too.
Verstappen did.
Verstappen
Cat
did.
caught and
Uh,
passed him.
Oh yeah, sorry. But I mean, as a concept, very interesting. But I also feel that motorsport should be dictated on the racetrack, purely on the racetrack, outside of a lot of external factors. This is
think-
an external factor. I mean,
I
like,
think it is a necessary evil for a grassroots, a series that is.
It's not grassroots, though.
It's not grassroots. It is actually a pinnacle motorsport.
That's true.
But for a series that is in a very nascent stage, to bring in the fans, to keep them hooked, because your Formula E fans, I mean, one would just assume that your Formula E fans and your Formula 1 fans are a subset of each other.
I don't think so.
But what Formula E needed to do was bring in new people. Okay, not just new fans, but new promoters as well. Okay, and
That's true.
and people who were committed to the sport. And finally, now that brings us to the Gen 3 car.
Gen
car
3, the biggest jump.
That is going to come now.
Yeah.
Okay. Much lighter. No mechanical brakes in the rear. And 40% energy recovery from regen.
Must be really interesting to drive
Which
those cars.
is going to push the strategy to a technical stage far beyond what we see in Formula 1, honestly. It's going to
That's true, but
change the dynamic of the series and make it super interesting. And if you're wondering why we are suddenly talking about Formula E, I think the crucial factor is that we have two home teams
yeah.
that are represent. I will discount Jaguar, TCS.
They're still apart.
They are
As
still
far as
an
I'm,
Indian
as far as
owned
I'm,
brand.
yeah.
I would have preferred if the parent company.
Name was Tata. I mean, if you're not aware, by the way, like if you do, watch a bit of Formula E, you can spot a lot of Tata branding here and there.
Exactly, right?
You have the power grid tech provided by
but it
Tata
is
Power
still
and
Tata Power, Tata Consultancy.
Yeah,
I
none
would
of
have
them
liked to
are.
see
I have not
the
seen
parent
Tata,
company
yeah.
of Jaguar.
But Tata is involved in it in a big manner.
But who has really, really been committed to the Formula E movement outright
Mahindra.
is Mahindra Racing, and they've done it at a level that they did it where I love the fact that Mahindra enters motorsport with such seriousness. They did it with Moto 3. You know who were the Mahindra Moto 3 riders?
Oh. I'm just missing it, but like I'm pretty sure one of them became a champion.
Both of them.
Oh.
Francesco Bagnaia, Banaya,
And Bezzecchi?
Jorge Martin.
Oh.
Dude, at MotoGP India, when they met their Mahindra team principal as MotoGP riders, it was incredible to see their 16-year-old selves come out as they ran to embrace the man. It was just the most heartwarming sight. An Indian, by the way.
Oh.
I forget his name, and at the risk of taking his name wrong, I'm not going to say it. But that sight will
insert his image.
Be embedded in my mind forever. And I think
That's a great thing. Truly a great thing. I mean, entering motorsport is never easy. Never for a racer, never for an engineer, and definitely not for a manufacturer. And especially a manufacturer which, even in India, let's say, I think Mahindra outright has been genuinely involved in one or two things. One of them would possibly be rallying.
Yeah.
The other would be,
they
again,
did step out of rallying recently.
Yeah.
And
raids.
guys, I would love to see you back as a factory team in rallying.
They
You
do
all
have the cars,
I mean, we know Amitrajit Ghosh.
Yeah.
Gaurav also is still driving an XEV 300. No, Gaurav I think has moved on. But Amitrajit Ghosh is still driving an XEV 300.
Yeah.
I think with JK Tire.
Yeah.
Yeah, JK Tire livery.
The XEV 300 did race last year.
Which is an exception. And they're going toe to toe. Ghosh has faced some reliability issues. He's not a factory team. So it does take
competing against European-made some spec cars, right? Rally 2, Rally 3 spec cars.
Rally 5.
Rally
Rally
5.
4, which is the
Rally 5,
WRC format
Yeah. WRC 2 format, yeah.
of race cars. This is an
So
Indian...
we know that Mahindra, has pedigree.
has the bones for it.
And they have delivered. But entering Formula E was...
Small detour.
Yeah.
That P6 rally. You all have an electric
Mahindra,
racing
are
team.
you listening?
And a great electric SUV.
Did you
Bring
see the
them together.
B6 race on the track? I mean, not race, but it was doing hot laps.
On the track?
Yeah. It was
Where?
at a Formula E.
At London, I think.
Yes.
Berlin.
Was it Berlin? I'm not sure, but it was genuinely a very proud sight. I mean, we see McLarens and Ferraris and Mercs being, doing the hot laps at Formula 1 weekends. Seeing a Mahindra, a B6 in that beautiful was that orange, the fiery orange color, lighting up the streets with customers, or I'm not sure who, but like
And
it
this
was
is a stock car.
This is a stock car, guys, by the way. It's a top spec pack 3 with dual motors and I don't
Stock
know.
car.
But
Stock car is not a race car.
it
could
looked
be
proper
so much more.
and I mean, I did not see the entire lap, but just the presence of the car being there. That is truly important. I mean, and that is a showcase to the world. Mahindra went there and showcased to the world.
No, I think Mahindra's commitment to Formula E, they were a founding manufacturer
I'm aware.
in Formula E from season 1.
I forget the
With-
team principal's name, but I do know that he led the team properly and for a good amount
So,
of time.
season 1, 2013. Was Mahindra manufacturing anything that was electric?
I mean, are we talking about the
The
E2,
E2O.
E2O Riva
E2O
thing as
was
well?
there.
But that's a really different kind of electric compared to...
Oh, that is probably the connection though.
Could be.
You know, the E2O used to be the Mini Reva,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
which was acquired by Mahindra, Chetan Maini, Kush Maini.
Arjun Mani.
That is probably the string that they pulled. Ooh.
Interesting. I
So
mean,
okay, let's again. We are jump starters. We
Doesn't
would
matter how
be
they got
dead
there
in
though,
motorsport.
but-
We jumpstart everything. Okay, let's start with the origin of. So as always, we would be dead in the water in motorsport on the grid because we are legendary jump starters at this point. We've talked all about Mahindra Racing and how what our personal interest for the brand is, but I think testament to everything is their commitment to Formula E, and they've been there from day one. They entered as a customer team. Tell me about their origin story, man.
well, Mahindra has been there since the start. They were one of the founding members of Formula E. And that is just a testament, and they're still there. They have competed in every single season. They have been there since the first race. They have won. They have shown speed, pace, and commitment. They have invested in Formula E.
Yeah, and
And-
the first year that they showed up at the grid, they were a customer team.
Yeah.
They bought a car because
I'm not sure who they bought it from,
they
but
didn't have.
from season 2, they changed the game. They made their own car. They made the chassis, I think, is a customer chassis
So
for
there
most
are
manufacturers,
some,
but the motor, the battery units, the
Yeah,
kinetic
the powertrain
energy,
is on the
recovery,
manufacturer.
Yeah.
The chassis and I think the suspension components
they're
are
stock for others, I
are
think.
season set.
Yeah. But, doing that,
The
doing
M2
the...
Electro,
Yeah.
I think, is testament to the way Mahindra has taken on this electric mission. I mean, they're not the only Indian manufacturer to do so, but I really, really, really like the way they're going about it because I think the best development of any kind of motor vehicle.
Is done on the racetrack. You're absolutely right. And the M2 Electro really, really changed the game. Well, they had, the technology and the pace to, beat manufacturers like Audi and, Renault on the track.
This, again,
This was season 3, as far as I remember.
Season
and
3 is when. Season 2, obviously, they came in with their new car. There were development issues, there were struggles. I mean, they had two really, really good drivers. And I'm sure they played a part in the development of the car.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Heidfeld and Rosenqvist, yeah. But they truly, truly showed pace and strategy. Again, you just cannot... Formula E is about everything. As we have just discussed, it's about everything. It's not just, making a great car. It's not just making a great car. Imagine the strategist sitting wherever. I'm not sure, but I think
Pitwall.
I think a big chunk of Mahindra's racing development happens in the London, right beside the Mahindra Advanced Design Europe, right? Made, as they call it. But it happens there. They've got a massive team sitting there doing strategy, everything else, simulators, pretty sure about it. But, getting the strategy right, getting the tires right, getting the pace right, getting the drivers on pace.
Actually, now that
and
you
doing-
mentioned simulators,
Yeah.
how do they simulate electric battery loss? That's... I
I mean,
can
is
you?
you could.
You would have to model it after
it's just a learning curve. No,
thousands
if
of
you have
years,
already...
laps of...
Yeah, so if you've already had, quite a few laps of, a bunch of laps, of course, of
Again,
different tracks.
this is
But
like
I
a
think it would be.
12-year-old racing series, which is
Yeah,
how many years is Formula One now?
75. The World Championship is 75. Formula One itself is older. It's almost 80 now, I think. Yeah.
That's incredible. The amount that they've developed in 12 years, in just a little over a decade, from going from car swaps to one car going the distance to new ways of fan engagement, new ways of using your power, conserving your tires. I love it. I think more people need to be watching Formula E and more people need to be showing support for a team that is flying the Indian flags freaking high.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is truly, truly incredible. And let's say, okay, fine, Mahindra, you might say that, okay, they're just a team. But do you know that Indian drivers drive for Mahindra at times? Our own Jehan has tested and driven for
Formula E.
Mahindra Formula E. And he might be a full-time driver in the future. We do not know about that. But that is just truly incredible. An Indian driver, an Indian team. The last time that happened was, well, way back, especially on the world stage. I remember 2012, 2013 with Force India. That was a completely different...
That was an Indian team, never had an Indian driver.
Oh yeah, they never had an Indian driver though.
All hats off to Vijay.
But
Never
had an Indian driver. But it did mark the entry
I
of...
suppose if it did exist for a little while longer, he would have been able to bring the team up to a point where he could have started creating a B team to
But that's
feed
again,
drivers.
I think, one of the edges of Formula One that, well, if you don't perform, you're pushed out. You're just pushed out. You need the money. I mean, like, as far as I'm aware, they're playing in hundreds of millions of dollars, and
Almost $1 billion in some
a
cases.
single point can make a difference for a team earning, I guess, $600 million to $400 million.
Yeah.
And $200 million loss is a big thing. So, I mean, and for teams or whoever
Force
doesn't
India
have the backing...
was a competent team. But again, I know you love Formula One. But we got to
But
talk
there's
about
another-
Formula E,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
So, okay. Season 2 was a struggle. There were learnings. There was the whole time where we were wondering, and probably everyone at Mahindra were wondering whether they could see this through, because again, it is a pinnacle motorsport.
Yeah.
But season 3, with
They changed it.
their two exceptionally picked drivers, honestly, the maturity that these drivers had, the way they were able to
I think these
evolve.
drivers were senior to a lot of other drivers on the grid as well. And people did question Mahindra on
Yeah.
their choices as to... I mean, it's generally a thing that, you choose very fast young drivers because they just, I don't know, have the edge. But Mahindra made the right pick.
Nick Headfield was
He had
with,
experience, he had
with Mahindra for
Yeah.
a long time. But Felix
Rosenqvist.
Rosenqvist, both of them were exceptional drivers. Do you know where Mahindra Racing finished on the championship standings in season 3?
Third.
Ousting
Audi.
global teams.
Audi?
Yeah. And
Maserati?
Renault.
No. Well, not the only place that they're losing out.
And this is with people like Porsche, people full European.
Even McLaren competed, Mercedes competed.
Everybody
but
tried.
they started competing later. I think. But
I'm not sure whether they competed or they're in
But-
development stages. But yes,
we are still putting Audi. They are. I think Audi as a team. Porsche was also there. I mean, they are the most successful manufacturers in the world of motorsport. And we are talking a century, right?
Yeah. More than that.
More than that. Porsche has been winning, I don't know, like since when? Audi, I mean, Mercedes, Renault. I mean, they have been doing it for decades and a very,
I love
very
that.
long
I
time.
love it's
It's a kick. I mean,
I think the entire reason for doing this podcast is the commitment of this Indian manufacturer to put our names right up there with everybody else and tell us that we are a force to reckon with. Look at us now.
yeah.
And
Truly, truly amazing. I mean, if anybody should feel proud, we as Indians should about Mahindra in Formula E. Whatever they have achieved, whatever they have done is truly, truly amazing. I mean, whatever the racing series represents, I would just watch it for Mahindra.
exactly,
To
and I
see
think
that
every
car. And again, we are not talking about, let's say, MotoGP and the Bajaj branding on the KTM bike. We are
Yeah.
not talking something like that. This is a car developed by Mahindra.
they did it in Moto 3 when they went to Moto 3. They developed that the engine that was in the Mojo was a Moto 3 derived engine. How incredible is that
That is
commitment?
just-
Who has done it? Who? Show me another Indian manufacturer who's committed to motorsport in the way that Mahindra have.
If engineering and R&D are something to speak about, Mahindra is the pinnacle of it in our country, I must say. I mean, there's no other way about it.
And
They've always done everything properly, and they have done it to the limit to excel at with global manufacturers. That is just
that is something that we are seeing today. I mean,
they've been doing it for some while.
I think the speed of transfer in Formula E to a road car is much faster.
Yeah, as we discussed. So
I think
we
the
have
B6
had
and the XEV 9E, these two absolutely radical concepts from Mahindra.
true. They're not
Concepts,
concepts, not
production
concepts.
cars.
Production cars with sales to show. With
No, I mean, I'm talking about, when I say concept, I mean like literally as what
Yeah.
they are, at the concept of what they are.
And I mean, okay, we have seen how tech trickles down from rally cars to from Formula One to road cars. But again, one very interesting aspect here, and that is that when tech trickles down from Formula One, it goes to cars which cost $1 million, or an INR.
I mean,
a
it
lot
does
of-
eventually come to
Yeah, but then that trickle down comes again 5 years later.
The turnaround. The turnaround is what
from
is
the
critical
pinnacle
here.
of what a person can buy, from the ultra rich, what they can buy to a passenger car. Here we are talking about Mahindra going to the world stage, testing out technologies, and giving them to you at a price of 20 lakh rupees. That is incredible. I mean, there might be other manufacturers who do it, sure, but what Audi or what Porsche or what Maserati costs 20 lakh rupees?
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to tell this story today.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's go a little bit more back. Gen 1 peaked. Then Gen 2 happened. And just how brutal a mistress motorsport is was
Mahindra
again.
had troubles.
Because, I mean, this is a technology that's evolving so fast. And again, you have to remember that this whole electric movement is being driven by Europe.
Yeah.
They are the
And we are
fastest
talking about,
adopters of it.
and we are talking about brands which are competing while having electric cars on the road, which were again world class.
So,
At those times, they were the pinnacle of electric mobility. And Mahindra wasn't there. Then,
yeah.
it wasn't there.
So, talk us through the struggles of season 7 and season 8. That is, I think, where it was the most difficult for them to stay on board with this.
Well, it was a difficult period for the brand. The Gen 2 platform, it just...
Plus new drivers.
And new drivers like Alex Lynn and I'm not sure about the other driver, but it just raised the engineering bar. See, Mahindra was
I think
already...
Alex was the only new driver. I think Felix stayed on. Nick left.
Yeah. So, see, we need to understand that Mahindra was already going full steam. They were working at the cutting edge, but this is their cutting edge. And of course, they were at their absolute limit when they were competing in Gen 1, right? So, when the transition to Gen 2 happened, it just pushed the bar higher. It just pushed the bar higher. You have different components, you have different technologies. And we see it in every form of motorsport
And it's a
every
money pit.
form of.
I mean, it is a money
It is
pit.
a money pit. We are talking hundreds of $1 million again.
And we are talking about a homegrown brand
Yeah.
competing against the likes
This is
of...
the same manufacturer which makes the Bolero.
Yeah.
We are
And
talking
they're
about the same
competing
manufacturer.
against the likes of Renault.
And Porsche.
One of the large... I'm going to say that Porsche is still a niche brand, although they have motorsport history. The Renault
Fine. Renault is a mass market
has
manufacturer.
the money leverage.
Yeah,
that
they
you
have
can,
massive amounts of money. Massive.
and ever since they've kind of pulled out of Formula One. I mean,
Losing does that to you.
ouch. But okay, I'm glad you said that, because losing does make it hard, and that's where
Hats off to you, Mahindra.
that is where your commitment shines through. You didn't leave and say, okay, we'll call it
Reminds me
the
of
Jaguar Racing Team.
Yeah, reminds me of the the line from the Rocky movie. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and still keep standing, keep taking the punches, and that is what Mahindra did. They took the punches. They had bad races. They had bad seasons, right? They were nowhere compared, to what the rest of the field was doing. I mean, they had flashes of speed, but they were just, and again, this was again prompted by, Formula E got a bit more of fan base. Mercedes entered.
Yeah.
As I said, Porsche entered, and when you are doing Mercedes and Porsche, then
Again,
the competition.
these people are bringing more knowledge to the track. They are already
bringing
hybrid gods.
They are bringing every kind of technology and knowledge, and not just knowledge. They are bringing people who have been sitting in the garage and working there for their entire life, and they have been doing it with that brand, by the way, right? It's about the people as well. And when they enter, Audi has the title of entering new series and beating it. They did it with Dakar just recently. They entered with an absolutely new car, and
they still
they couldn't do it
they're
for
still
2 seasons.
fighting
They couldn't do it for 2
reliability
seasons.
issues.
They won the 3rd one, and then they exited because they were like, okay, fine, I've done the job. But again, coming back to Mahindra.
I think they exited because they knew that they couldn't do it again.
Okay, Nico Rosberg.
Controversy.
Nico Rosberg. But yeah. So, Gen 2, right? It brought a fundamental architecture change. There was then the Gen...
Okay, 1 second. Technically,
Yeah.
Gen 2, London, was which manufacturer's home race?
Jaguar.
Who won?
Jaguar.
No,
No? No?
Mahindra.
Oh.
In the Gen 2 car, despite their tremendous reliability issues through that season.
As
Alex
I said,
Lynn-
see, flashes of speed.
His strategy there, no, it was representative of background development. It was showing that
but
they
see,
are
background development also works throughout the season. And we are not discounting that, but winning in the way that they won with the car that they had, compared to what they did in a lot of other races, that's truly, truly amazing.
Now we transition to Gen 3.
Gen 3.
And this is again another complete upheaval of the way these cars were a whole lot lighter. You were only allowed regen on the front axles. So the rear axles were just for braking.
I'm just feeling
It
about
was-
the drivers as to how
No,
they
think
were
of the engineers who had to rip their car to the bones
break everything.
and rebuild from scratch. I mean, when was the last generation change in Formula One? When did this era of Formula
21,
15,
22.
16? No.
Yeah.
The-
Are we talking about the kind of car or the kind of powertrain?
The fundamental this generation
This generation is ground effect. This came into effect in 22.
No.
The one before this was exactly in 2014.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the end of the
It was the beginning of the turbo hybrid era. No.
No,
yeah.
was it?
The turbo hybrid era
Okay,
came in
yeah, so
2014. Before that, it was the V8 engine, which was
with
dominated
the
by.
W11.
It was dominated. No, that was still the Red Bull era.
No, so 2011, 12 was the
That
end
was
of
the Red Bull era. That was the V8.
end of the Red Bull era. Then we switched to the
2014, then we
V6s.
turbo
with
hybrid. Yeah.
Hamilton then taking the charge.
Yeah.
Mercedes being the dominant.
But here is a very key component.
Hmm.
No true manufacturer has been dominant in a way in Formula E. The way the manufacturers
If
have
you're a
been.
motorsport fan, true motorsport fan, this is something that you will really.
We have seen manufacturers being dominant in a lot of series. Let's talk
All series.
Let's talk WEC, Toyota, Porsche, right? In recent times, Ferrari since their comeback. Formula One, Ferrari. I mean, they used to, but like Red Bull, Mercedes,
McLaren
Formula-
now.
huh?
McLaren
now. But Formula E is not like that. Formula E is different. No true driver, no true manufacturer. I mean, I don't mean true in that sense, but like, not one has just gone ahead and dominated everything else, won everything. And, I feel that's a good thing. Because, okay, we have all seen how manufacturers start losing the game once there's just one driver and one manufacturer constantly winning. I mean, I get bored when one guy is winning.
But I think that's what true motorsport is really about. Really high highs and then really low lows, which is the perfect transition for the Gen 3 platform, and just how difficult it was for Mahindra in this period, because they went from the highs of Gen 2 to critical reliability issues to a point where their entire internal management and their technical team needed to be restructured from the ground up. They did not leave the sport. They changed the way they were playing it, and that again is just testament to the tenacity of this manufacturer. They're like a pit bull. They've got their teeth in and they're staying there.
And that is something to be really proud of. Genuinely, we have seen, I mean, like, they can do a lot of things, but it is truly everything. I mean, FIA, the high caliber team, they, have really invested and trusted the electric process. I mean, a lot of people don't. Our country is a true testament.
You know how they responded, right?
Who?
Mahindra.
With the Gen 3?
Yeah. In true Rocky Balboa style. You know how they responded to their difficulties. They came in as a powertrain provider. A powertrain provider in a pinnacle motorsport. An Indian powertrain provider. How epic is that?
And that, by the way, guys, is the same as a Formula One constructor.
Exactly.
Is the same kind of respect, is the same kind of technological
They
know-how
went
that you
out
need.
and they
we
bought-
have 4 Formula One constructors. Just 4 or 5. I'm not sure, but
4. Ferrari, Mercedes,
Honda
Honda,
and Renault.
now Red Bull. Next year.
Renault as well.
Oh, Renault. Yeah.
But Again, that's just 4 from a team of 10 cars, and here we have Mahindra ready with a powertrain that they provide to other teams.
ABT Sportsline is the company that they acquired, a German powertrain company that they acquired so that they could hit the ground running with their learnings. They knew exactly what they wanted.
That's just flexing.
And they went from being a customer team that didn't even have their own car to a B2B supplier who is now supplying and ready to supply to other teams. I mean,
that is truly...
it's...
I mean,
Anand Mahindra,
it's a really, really
I
smart
salute
way.
you and your dedication to this motorsport. It is incredible. I mean,
is
it is
really
so
impressive.
heartwarming as an
It is
Indian
also a
motorsport
very, very
fan.
smart way. I mean, all of us know that when you do provide your powertrains to other manufacturers, or rather other teams, you gain data from it. You gain data from it because they will tell you, your motor worked fine, your battery worked fine, this worked fine, or this did not work fine. You get the feedback. It just improves your own game while bringing in money. While increasing your own technical know-how, and most of all, letting you run your own primary company, Mahindra Auto, even better. Giving you technology for not just your ICE cars. I mean, there might be some technology coming into ICE cars I'm not aware of, but definitely the electric cars. And that's just not it. I mean, Mahindra has done it with other brands as well. They did it with Pininfarina.
The Batista.
They acquired a legendary name.
Is the fastest...
Not anymore.
Not anymore, no? But it was briefly.
To some extent, yes. It does hold quite a few records of acceleration and top speed, especially in India. But
373.
Yeah. It did quite a bit, but I mean, again, Chinese are a bit ahead on that. They did it with the BYD Yangwang. They broke a lot of records. But
Where is a Chinese team on the Formula E grid, my friend? Where are they? Can I tell you something about the Yangwang?
Yeah.
How fast did it go around the ring?
Oh, we're back to that. It was
659, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was 650s. It was, and I know what you're going to say, and that is that if you stack the BYD Yangwang U9 Extremes lap time against the leaderboard,
GT3 RS.
against not just the GT3 RS, the Aventador, the OG Aventador S, or I think the SVJ, SV, whatever, were faster. On the overall leaderboard, the BYD Yangwang sits below the 20th position.
So, I'm not playing with the Chinese. Get back to season 10 and the resurgence. Once they've gone back to the drawing board, they've restructured their car, they've come in as a powertrain supplier. And now you're driving a resurgence where you have drivers who, I'm thinking of one driver in particular who performed really well in
Are we
F1.
talking about one particular driver? Yes. Debris. Sorry, Nick.
Meme
But
culture, man.
Nick Debris, he came to Mahindra. He truly showed what a driver can do. And that was not just on the driver.
It was good drivers want to sign a team. It shows that this team is going to be at the sharp end.
Look at Lewis Hamilton.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not working now, but it might work.
The whole... You keep going back to Formula 1, man.
Sorry. I'd known more Formula 1 references compared to Formula E. It's not my fault. But it's just
Even Mortara,
typical...
Eduardo Mortara, I believe his name was, he was also an existing Formula E winner. And it's so... There's so much of strategy in Formula E that your racecraft is so important that those race wins, those knowing how to hit the head of the field and stay there becomes critical. And when you have drivers of the caliber of De Vries and Eduardo joining the team, it's beyond PR at this time. It is a reflection of just how serious you are in the game.
It's a true definition of a motorsport comeback.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so they came back with proper tech, proper architecture, proper development, proper
Energy management.
everything. But there was a very core thing that they did, that Mahindra did. And well, guys, this is why India is called one of the true capitals of software, because they changed the game with the software. See, you need to understand energy management, the deployment of the energy, how the battery behaved, how everything behaved in the car, the software, the core of it all. We have whatever in an ICE car, but it is so important in an electric car, especially an electric race car, that technology, the software just truly defined what Mahindra was doing. It fixed a lot of issues in the car. It fixed a lot of issues in the car itself. It ensured that the car performed at pace whenever required. It not only ensured that they were efficient, it ensured that they were fast, they were competitive, they could go wheel to wheel, and they ended up on the podium.
It's testament to what, that whole Bruce Lee thing where he said, I'm not scared of a man who practices 10,000 kicks, but I'm very scared of the person who practices one kick 10,000 times. This is a decade-long discipline that has manifested itself.
See, a lot of times, you can go back to the drawing board,
They've survived every generation change, every major technological restructure.
And they were never extremely far behind. It was never like Mahindra's not there. They were always there.
There were gremlins, there were reliability.
There were always
but
issues.
Team,
we see that in every single series of motorsport. Global giants come and fail. And here was Mahindra. And I'm going to call Mahindra a global giant. Okay?
Without a doubt.
They truly are putting India on the map. They are putting technology in vehicles, in their race cars, in their passenger vehicles that can compete with the best of the best. I mean, I'm sorry, but if Mahindra, goes and develops a car that costs 1 crore, I'm scared of what they're going to do. They're doing it.
They have all the technology.
They're doing it here with cars that cost 30 lakhs. Which is, again, lower than anything that European manufacturers provide in this country.
Yeah, you're getting almost 300 horsepower for 30 lakhs, dude.
If you have not seen what the B6 with certain things switched off can do on the tarmac.
Gaurav, we leave a video of Gaurav doing it.
But it is truly amazing. And if you want to have fun, or if you want to, again, as we spoke about the B6 on a Formula E race track, just genuinely amazing. And I cannot wait for what Mahindra is going to do next.
Perfect. We do have to wrap now. But before we wrap, let's touch the future of what is to come, which is the entire reason I wanted to do this podcast. So you guys will get interested and start watching what Formula E is.
We are not experts, but we have, I think, highlighted quite the important bits about Formula E that really make it interesting. One can argue.
I'm not an expert in Formula E. I will have to confess that I haven't been like day one protagonist, but over the years, watching the tenacity of our Indian brands flying our flags so high,
just the quality of racing, just the quality of the championship, the races, the way that they go is truly amazing. I mean, it's not like it's being run like honestly, no shade on anybody, but we have seen how certain Formula 4 or other formulas in smaller championships are run. They have dangerous tech running. They have cars that fail, are a danger to drivers and spectators. Formula E doesn't have any of that.
That's actually a very valid point. It is
They run on street circuits.
Despite being run on
They
street
go
circuits
very, very fast.
and being a very, very contact form of racing. I mean,
Yeah.
Formula E gets hot.
They're
because
small cars. They're not very big cars. They're small cars,
tight
and
grids.
they go wheel to wheel much more often than Formula One does. And it's not like they're slow either. We are not talking about 250 kilometers, guys. We are talking 300. We are talking 320. 320, I guess.
I am not sure of what
But-
top speeds they run, but if you say 320,
That's actually the Gen 3 Evo.
okay, so that's what's going to come.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the all-wheel drive car.
Yeah. If you weren't aware, the older cars weren't really.
So now you
going
have
full.
two new modes: qualifying mode, attack mode.
Yeah.
Tell me a
different-
little about how this will change the way we look at the race
Well-
and the tactical profile of the
Well,
entire
this
series.
is definitely a very, very interesting development in Formula E. The all-wheel drive, ensures that they have much more traction. As always, anything that has all-wheel drive has more traction. But especially for Formula E cars, again, batteries aren't light, and batteries are compacted into the cars. So, I mean, center of gravity, it does mess around. It's of course not easy to drive, but the all-wheel drive is going to give the cars definite better acceleration and better cornering speeds, better control.
There will be an energy trade-off, though.
There
So
will
you
obviously be an
might
energy
see
trade-off,
a lot more lift to charge,
but I mean,
but then you'll have cars that can attack the corner. I mean, you might see them all, the entire grid slowing down on the straight and then hammering their way through the corners.
Yeah. But that is what makes it very interesting. Okay, so Formula 1, we have the DRS zone, right? We have the DRS zone. But in Formula E, the driver is able to dictate as to which corner and which section of the track they're going to have maximum pace. It's really interesting. I mean, is DRS on the go when you want it? Sort of.
Yeah.
But it does dictate how lap to lap, wheel to wheel racing goes. And this is truly an intense way of ensuring that you have those very nice highlight moments on the screen. Doesn't matter if the race is 30 minutes or an hour or,
Ooh, that's an interesting point. Because, again, we're talking about a race whose core is energy management. I believe they are an FIA Sustainable Grade 3 certified series, which is,
Yeah.
I don't think there is any other series that is as sustainable in terms
Formula
of
1 is, I think, one behind. There was, I'm not sure, but there was Extreme E. But Extreme E is sort of dead now. They kind of pulled the plug on it. But Extreme E was again doing great things, but did not find the traction. But that is what makes Formula E that much more important. Somebody did try a rally. It was a sort of
So you
rally,
know that-
sort of extreme rally cross with massive cars, massive tires, jumping around.
Extreme E.
Extreme E. Our own legend Carlos Sainz Sr. was competing there. McLaren was, I think, very successful team in it for some time.
McLaren is coming to Formula E
As
with the
far as
Gen
I'm
3
aware,
Evo
yes.
platform, right?
But that is what makes Formula E that much more respectable as well. Another racing series joined. They tried. They did a lot of things, and they couldn't really make it. And Formula E is here, transitioning to an entirely new generation, pushing the limits even further.
And this is not like, it's not a lapped race. You know that, right?
Yeah, no.
It's a timed race.
It's a
It's
timed
45
race,
minutes.
yes.
You have to run the course of 45 minutes. If there is a yellow flag, that time is added.
That is
It
a really
changes the way we look at racing.
I feel that is a really interesting way of doing it, because again, that kind of represents what life is in 2025. We are always on our phones. We are always here. We are always there. But I mean, one thing that we don't have is time. So 45 minutes running is really cool. I mean, we have had certain races in, the pinnacle of motorsport that have ran hours. And by I mean hours, I mean like plus 2 hours, plus 3 hours, guys.
Exactly.
Come on. And then they have to cut down laps. And then we do not have racing. We have racing series which run 24 hours. You can never watch it. You always just watch the highlights. So, it's just, Formula E is definitely going the way that they are truly, gaining
And
the traction.
I think
Literally.
Exactly. And I think finally for this final season, what is important is that we turn up for this tenacious Indian brand. And as they've asked us very clearly to, let's scream electric next year. And let's be there to show our support for what they are doing on a global scale. I think we should sign off now. We could talk hours more on the subject, I'm sure.
But I think truly a good discussion on what Formula E means, what it is, what is the history of it, and more importantly, what our country, what Mahindra Racing has done in Formula E. And they've not just done. Their stats will surprise you guys. We will list out their stats, I think, on the screen, and that will make you realize what Mahindra Racing has truly done.
And I think
Because
next
they
year,
are right next to a lot of other manufacturers racing in Formula E.
for a long, long time.
For a long,
and I think
long
next
time.
year is going to be even more interesting the
Yep.
next season because, again, we go back to grassroots, we go back to zero, we come out with a new car, a new concept.
Speaking of the new car, I mean, I did
And I
speak
think
about
the
the
way
all-wheel
that
drive.
Mahindra is promoting their presence right now, they're confident of what they're going to do next year.
Yeah.
So, guys, I know you may not be motorsport fans, you may not be Formula E fans, but if you're Indian, you really need to turn up for Mahindra Racing and show them the support that they deserve for spending over a decade in a pinnacle motorsport,
Truly,
in a
truly
world
do.
championship.
It
I think-
is genuinely a great thing that they have done. And I couldn't be super proud. It is just insane.
Yep.
Hats off to you, Mahindra Racing.
Yep.
And-
thank you so much for the 12 years that you've invested. This is us signing off.